Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be working on this Boulder Opal. You can see, beautiful ironstone. This one came out of a parcel from Andrew and Paul Cochran over on Facebook. And it's a pretty risky, gambly kind of piece. So it lures you in with this little patch of opal here, which does have quite a bit of colour. But you can see that that seam is really hairline thick. And I don't know if it's going to meet up with this first little bar here or this second one underneath, but the second one on this side is a bit thicker. You can see that there's a few little enticing ones. We're just going to go through them and check them one by one. I am hoping that it meets up with this one because it's the one that shows the most colour. Over this side we don't really get to see much at all, so giving it a quick little dunk. You can see there, beautiful colour. It's a nice dark, not so sandy ironstone, so it's going to be pretty dense, and if we can get a good face, it'll be a nice stone. And yeah, this is the one that I'm hoping that it links to. If it links to the top one, I guess that'll still be a bit of a win, but it is a little bit thicker there. Now the underside could be a bit of potential too. There are a couple bars. If we do get to that top bar and it's a nice solid face, then we might come in from the bottom and probably ignore this one, but try to go for this one or that top one there. We'll just play it by ear and see how it goes. First off, we're just going to get the sintered diamond. I'm going to go really coarse to start off with, so something like this, the 80 grit, and we're just going to get that couple mils of ironstone straight off the top and see if this bar actually faces, and if so, we'll probably leave it there. Maybe in a later video we might go for one of the further back bars, but hopefully we just get to this, reveal it fully, it covers the entire face, and from there we just go through the nova points and polish it up, and it'll be a beautiful multicolored gem. But you never know, ironstone might defeat us on this one. It's just too thin to be overly confident about. So let's dive in and see what we've got. Alright, and under the knife. For part one, there's going to be two parts in this carving. So first part, we're just going to work the top, going from the color bar kind of backwards, just because we don't know where the color bar really sits, and it's hard to gauge it even from getting a side shot, because in Boulder Opal it can go all over the place, but I do check the side. And then flashing forwards, here we are probably like 10 minutes later. We've worked really carefully, really slowly, and I'm just working the ironstone, trying not to hit the opal. I really never want to hit opal with this 80 grit. So you can see it's fairly careful, and I'm just starting to peek through and see that first color bar. And it's coming through, but it's not coming through all that evenly, which you expect with some of this really thin crack formation Boulder Opal. But you just got to be diligent, just not hit the opal, and just keep working away. You will get to a point, however, like I do in this one, where you're kind of realizing that the inclusions of ironstone just aren't going to fully go away. So here I'm already starting to investigate that second bar under the top one, especially on the side, because I'm not losing any of that bar anyway, so there's really no harm done. If I were to keep that top bar, I'd be doing a slice anyway. But I just want to see what's going on underneath. So there you see I hit the color, and it actually looks pretty damn good. So that second color bar is definitely what I'm thinking about now. Just quickly check the top bit a little bit more, because you only really need one to work out really well, which is always good when you got a couple backups. But we just keep testing this first one, and you can see it's just not quite getting there. If I thought it would, I would stop at this point and switch over to the higher grit, but it really just doesn't look like it's going to work out for me. So I just keep testing it with the 80 just to see if I can prove myself wrong. There was a little bit of a soft sandy patch on the opal over there, and I just wanted to see the side shots. It'd give me a bit of a clue as to whether it meets up reasonably well with that second color bar or not. Just having a good look and trying to get as much info as I can. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be easy, and we've come to the crossroads, so we've got to make a decision. I don't think that this bar is thick enough for me to get those ironstone spots out of the face. And because it's going to ledge off to here, the only reason I would keep this is if I was going to slice along here and get a nice long stone out of here, maybe an oval. But it really doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's not thick enough. we are going to have to cut all the way through and hope that that second bar is decent. I mean, looking at this patch here, this is probably the best color in the stone so far. There's a bit of green, and at the right angle there's red up above it. So it does meet up here. We're just going to have to go through this ironstone. We're going to lose this permanently, but that's the way it goes. We're going to have to try to gamble and hit that second color bar and see if it does us any better. And then I guess there's a third one after that, but we don't know where that comes over here. I don't know if it even does. I don't think it does. But we're going to hope that that little bit of ironstone wedge right between these two color bars comes out. Oh, tough one. Tough one, but at the same time, there's not a hell of a lot of choice. This is not the best looking stuff, so I'm just going to grip my teeth and not close my eyes, but grind straight through that, forget it's there, and try again with the second bar. So yeah, let's get that same diamond bit out again, some fresh water, which will very quickly turn into mud. So let's do it. Alright, part 2. So first off, just go straight through that top layer. The ironstone is shot up to pieces, so we're just going to go straight through, and I'll jump ahead to when we reach that second color bar because there's not a lot to see here. So skipping forwards to the second part. Now we're just getting onto the next color bar, gotten rid of that ironstone wedge kind of formation between the two layers, and we're just working pretty carefully because I really do want that second layer to work out. So once again, just hitting nothing but ironstone, testing out that soft patch, which I'm not overly keen on, and then we switch over to the 600 sintered diamond just because I just can't avoid touching the opal. So this bird doesn't do too much damage. It will still chip if you let it, so you got to be a little bit careful, but at least it gives me a little more freedom, and yeah, it won't cause as much damage as the 80 grit. And we just keep working away. We get closer and closer. I'm still working this top bit, and then I realize that it's got a little bit of a fracture in it. So you can see the fracture forming just there, and it's got that little raised bit. So I'm playing around with a little bit of the ironstone in the face. It's coming out really easily, and you can see there I'm just testing that chip with my fingernails and thumbnails, because the idea is that if I can pull that off with my fingernails instead of grinding through it with the sintered diamond, I might actually be able to save that chip for something. So here I'm just trying to destabilize it a little bit more by working on that ironstone that goes underneath it, the last of the ironstone wedge between the layers. And I can tell that I'm getting pretty close. And look at that second color bar, it's coming through really strong at this point. It's not coming through as well in the back corner, but I haven't quite gone all the way down. And now I'm certain I'm yanking away, and eventually comes free. So there you go, I get to save a little chip. Don't just chuck it in your dirty water, you'll never see it again, you'll pour it down the sink. So I just set it off to the side, and we're back at it, trying to work out the last of that ironstone, but you can see it's just not going away. So unfortunately, it doesn't come through the way I would have liked. But it is what it is. We'll just work on the rest of it, try to get the rest of this face coming through. And that little bit of ironstone will probably just have to sit there for now. We can always possibly slice the stone and get rid of that later on. But I'm really getting a bit disappointed at this point with this back corner. There's a big patch of mud, and this mud pit is not disappearing quickly. So just working away, thinking any day now I'll hit that color bar, and you really can't predict it with Boulder Opal. It will wave all over the place. It's definitely not very thick. So you can see here we've gotten right through to the next one. And I'm just praying that the last of it disappears, but it's just not quite doing it. It's really determined to stay there, and I'm looking at it now thinking that third color bar is getting awfully close. I'm working a couple of these patches, just hopeful that they disappear miraculously, but they're not. and then deciding I'll just finish off the edges and see how much color bar we've really got, see how far it wraps around the stone. And it really does clean up well in some of these areas, but you can see that crack there going through some of the best of the color, which is always disappointing. Thin lines, just a little bit of destabilization and you can get those cracks, and it really does. It's a huge detriment to the stone, but at least I can see here that there's a nice workable piece, and I just want to see how big that workable piece is. So just working the edges right back until I basically run out of opal. Well, it's not a win, but it's not a loss. There is plenty of colour under here. This area did not clean up as well as I would have liked. The front edge we could see was just here, and you can see that that colour did continue quite a long way in. I think the best course of action for this one, unfortunately, is a slice. And I think what I do is I cut this off somewhere along here, maybe get a teardrop out of that shape, and then maybe resurrect something over here. That ironstone just goes through. That's just what happens when you get to these really, really thin color bars. There is another one. There is a third bar underneath there that I could shoot for. So do the same thing again and we'll have a 3-tiered stone. This one does have a color bar going all the way around, but it peters out real thin on this side. Yeah, it's probably unlikely, but I could maybe resurrect something from here. The other issue is that if I get it out of the water, you can see there's a good crack along here. In the background, you can see the chip that came off the top of the ironstone wedge between the two color bars over here. I managed to just pick that off instead of grinding it away, so I can actually use that for something because it's a decent chunk and it's got beautiful color in it. But yeah, to get rid of this and get a reasonable stone, I think I do have to slice and get either a teardrop out of here if I cut it on an angle, or maybe just a cushion cut kind of square piece off that end. And then maybe we have another go and carve this one down to the next color bar and see if that's any better. Though I do like this section just in here. It's got that crack and a little bit of a chip here, but I reckon we can work that out. So yeah, all in all, not the worst, not the best. I won't go through and polish this all the way up. I reckon I need to set this one aside and use a trim saw, so it's going in the bag of trim saw saving pieces. And yeah, like I said, we'll just cut it and maybe resurrect this one again. You might see it back in the videos. You can see here, there's definitely more color. So we might hunt the next one. We might even shoot for the bottom color bar. I can't see it on the other sides really, except for a thin bit here. But you know what? It is what it is. I do have a couple more boulder stones that I have lined up. So this kind of material that we've just worked on, those thin hairline pieces, they can really go well or go pretty poorly. But if you get a piece more like this one, have a look at that. So that's all opal just there. So that's a huge thick piece. It's a little bit cloudy, milky over this side, but over here you can see there's definitely something under there. Just under this. So when you've got thicker bars like this, you've got way more of a fighting chance to get some of that ironstone out and get it right out of the face and get that beautiful foil-like color underneath. Look at that. So this stone will also be on the channel at some point soon. I think I've got one or two other things that I need to finish off before I get onto that one. But I just want to give an example of something that you've got a bit more of a fighting chance with. This one, you're really in the hands of the opal gods. This one, a little bit less so. You've got much more of a fighting chance. And then there's a another little sneak peek on this one where we've got a choice of a couple color bars here as well. You can see there, if that thick one in the middle works out, it'll be real good. But it's a hell of a gamble to get rid of this here. Too thin to slice down there. So we might roll the dice on that one as well at some point. Stay tuned, there's always more boulder coming up on the channel because it is my favourite opal. And this one, yeah, I'm happy to call it a draw. So with that being said, I am going to start working on some other pieces. Catch you around in the next videos.